Hello everybody and welcome to episode 4 of Elizium, a D&D homebrew campaign. So, when last we left off with the party, well, to put it simply, it was a shopping episode. They brought a lot of shit, and that's the end of the story. Now, we get back to the plot of the situation. So, guys, you are currently at the Lock and Barrel. It is the next morning.
Mm-hmm. Well, next morning, huh?
Yeah, next morning.
Well, I guess. Well, I'll
So,
just roll out of bed.
Obviously, if you need, it would be considered a long rest if anybody...
A long rest, good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty sure I was already good, but...
Yeah.
Because we didn't really do much of anything. I don't even think we needed to cast any spells.
No, I don't think so, but just in case,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it would be considered a long rest. Actually, for one that the first times in a while, it was actually quite a relaxing, comfortable long rest. Because a lot of long rests have been after a battle, or not in the best place to have a long rest. This was the first decent, comfortable one. Where you're actually in a bed, with the exception of Katterina.
This was the beach episode.
We'll get there. No, I'm joking. But yeah, so it was actually the first time you had a decent night's sleep. It was. So, if everybody needs a reminder who's with who, Vendrak is with Vulen.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Nevaeh and Nyx are in the another room. Heather and Tsurara are in one room, and obviously Katterina, you're with Nessa in the stable.
Yes.
Alright, Rara, she sort of yawns as she comes to a stir and wakes up all groggily. It's she stretches a little bit and just sort of slides her body to where it's halfway over the bed, and she sits up and kind of sits her tail next to her, sort of I don't want to wake up.
and it's just across from you in a separate single bed. Heather's just snoring. It's she apparently must be a heavy sleeper.
She's beauty, she's grace. What does that sound?
Well, I mean, after she complains, she's fuck, fine. She stands up, slowly opens her eyes and just sort of flicks her tail and starts walking over to where, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if Rara took off her cloak, but I'm just gonna have her take off her cloak. She takes over to where she stored her cloak and just kind of swings it on and goes there. It's morning.
What happened?
It's morning.
God, I swear to God, I was back in Touch of Colours again. Oh,
I'm sorry.
Don't worry. So it's morning? Oh,
yeah, I think so. Apparently,
fantastic.
That's what the sun says.
So actually, interesting that you mentioned the sun.
Oh dear.
Because no, it's just one of the little things about Dulldawn. Obviously, is it's morning, but you also do remember that yesterday, obviously, common thing throughout Dulldawn during the day, it's constantly in dawn light, given its name. So this isn't actually it is a dawn, but it's I just remembered it's gonna be like this for the rest of the day. So you can imagine there's some pretty a few people that oversleep possibly because they don't realize it's 12 midday because it's still dawn.
Anyway, I guess we should head on downstairs. I don't know where we're at technically because I wasn't here for this.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So
upstairs, downstairs, what?
Yeah, you're on what will be considered the first floor. And
so we're upstairs, right?
Yeah, upstairs,
Okay.
and there's a main, you could say foyer, but it is more like a traditional tavern. The main foyer is where you would have, you walked into, you paid for the keys and all stuff like that. So you'd imagine that's where everybody else will gather once they wake up.
Breakfast, is that served with our night stay or no?
Yeah, I guess we'll find out.
So you and Heather.
Oh, good. Vulen's awake as well.
Let's get all, I guess, go downstairs and see if we can find anyone else.
Yeah. So you get open door, lock it behind you, going down the corridor or set stairs. Obviously, yes, you enter the main floor, and it is almost like a traditional tavern, but obviously there's staircases that lead off up to upper floors, because it's more like a hotel, given the size of it, rather than just a simple inn or simple tavern that would have extra rooms to stay the night. There's a bunch of rooms to this place.
Well, Rara, she gets her satchel, slings it over her shoulder, checks at her mouse, and she goes downstairs. She's like, "Oh shit, that's right. I forgot. I ordered a custom made sword from the blacksmith. I'll have to go pick that up at some point."
Yeah, of course.
When you get downstairs, you see Vulen already up, already awake.
Vulen's already there.
You sleep quite lightly, as in a trance.
All right.
So they wake up a bit, likely a bit earlier than Vendrak, and I don't bother him. I head downstairs, and you find me at a table, skimming through one of the books I purchased yesterday. I've taken the kebab out of my bag of holding, and I've set that on a plate.
Okay.
Don't want to let it go.
Do you mind if I cut in real?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. I go groggily, waddle over to Vulen's and plop down right next to him. Morning.
Okay. I was going to make a joke about rolling perception to see if whether or not I can tell if Vulen is in bed or not, or if it's just a pillow instead of him. But then I rolled a natural 20, so I guess I just know where he is.
Damn it.
Vulen,
you've already wasted your natural 20.
Oh wait, Vulen's still in bed? Oh, I thought he was downstairs. Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, I've been waking up, but I was gonna go check on Vulen, and then as you heard, Vulen's already up earlier, so.
Oh, he's downstairs. Oh, he is downstairs.
I wake up and my eyes widen, and I just know. Oh, he's down.
Yes, the quickening.
I hear his individual footsteps.
There can be only one.
Can I just double check?
Yep.
Obviously, I'm gonna do my animal companion.
She is really quiet.
Is being
There we go.
doubled up. The work or how long it appears after?
The actual ritual for what you particularly want. We'll just put it that way. The ritual time will double. And the component cost will double.
Okay, right, okay, so then, right. Okay, then, in that case, then, obviously, Nevaeh and I have a discussion. I'm going to say that, I'm going to stay in the room. Obviously, I'm going to have to use 100 gold pieces worth of rare herbs and fine food, and it's going to take 16 hours worth of work.
Yep.
To do.
Wow.
Wait, to do what exactly?
To summon my wolf.
As like a ritual?
That reminds me.
It's.
We'll just say that there will be a
I think
certain
rituals only add 10 minutes to the time.
For animal companion, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a specific reason why it's doubled. We'll get to that once it's finished.
Interesting.
Oh, cool. Flavor.
It's going to screw
I
you
like
lot, that's for sure.
Well, no, at the end of it, it will.
And I'm going to stay behind slightly just to do my amulets.
Okay. I believe that only takes you about, say, 10 minutes
Yeah,
to
that's
make
fine.
that. So, I'd imagine, tell me if I'm wrong, obviously, Nevaeh, but once you've done your amulet, you're gonna go down and convey to everybody else that Nyx is kind of gonna not be joining you due to having been stuck in a room for 16 hours.
16 hours.
Yeah,
Yep.
16 hours.
Mhm.
She's going to be doing God knows what. And I will leave that to your imaginations.
Oh Lord.
Moving slightly on.
I'm gonna
That's
mark off one of my component bags, and as you walk down to see Vulen sitting at the table reading the book, you may notice a hawk on his shoulder.
Ooh.
Ooh.
the hawk.
Rara is still too tired to observe things at the moment. So I think the only way she'll ever notice the hawk is if the hawk pecks her.
Bunk. Yeah, he's chilling. He's reading my book with me.
Well,
Rara-
currently
Rara
Vendrak
is-
is an expert of perception of things that are currently inconsequential. So he seems to just knows right away.
Yeah,
As- as-
you would know
Not
anyway,
this
because
time,
I would have
Vulen.
undoubtedly had done my 1 hour ritual either before going to bed or as I woke up.
As Rara plumps her booty on the chair next to Vulen, she shuffles through her satchel and pulls out a quite large book and just starts thumbing through it to where she left off, yawning as she goes. Like,
Good morning.
good morning, Vulen.
Early morning literature for you as well, I see.
It's kind of for my studies. I kind of have to.
That warms the heart. I always love to see people pursuing knowledge.
Yeah, it's just something I've been trying to thumb through. Well, not the book itself, but something I've been trying to figure out for a while now. I've been trying to work on it since before I got whisked over to Catchicolis and met you guys. It's just I'm finally able to find a book to help me learn.
Really? What is there a certain project you're working on?
Yeah, well, I'm trying to figure out how to do quick enchantments with my cards and everything.
Oh, interesting.
So I'm hoping, like, I have the basics of how to enchant, but it's more so I can't get the magic to stick from, like, I can't get it to transfer from my cards to, like I'm experimenting with my stupid daggers, that's why I have them, but I can't get them to sort of, like, the magic to stick to the blade itself.
Why not just fling the cards at people instead?
Because I just don't want to. Shut up, Vendrak. No,
Typical dwarf response.
No, I want to, like. I want to be more versatile in combat. So when my cards, like, you know, when I can use my card magic and everything, it's great. I'm sure as you guys noticed, while I am good at my particular brand of magic, it doesn't want to work sometimes. So I'm hoping that if I can get some swordplay going on and weave it into my magic, it'll allow me to be a little bit more versatile and useful in combat.
So like more of a spell sword than a cell sword. I get it.
Yeah, more of a spell blade than anything really. It's just I don't want to throw away my magic because my magic I love it, but I just want it to incorporate it more into a martial type of combat too. I want to basically try to weave blade and spell at the same time.
It does seem rather complicated. The ephemeral nature of most magics, making them permanent. Lucy did have a very interesting item, a set of keys that were imbued with magic powers. There have to be some people with expertise in this. Maybe if you could seek them out.
Maybe. Well, it's not more so I want to make it permanent. Even if it's just a temporary enchantment, that would be awesome. I'm not looking to make it a permanent thing. I'm just wanting to get the stupid spell to stick, even for a few moments.
I see.
So, I don't know. It's been a while since I've been trying to work on it. So, and I was finally able to actually come to, like I said, come to a rather large city that has a magic store that can probably have some insight with their their book, so I was able to pick up this book.
Yes,
and-
the infamous Mildreds.
Oh god. Why is that infamous?
I mean, it is at this point, let's be honest.
Oh god.
You had a rush of business yesterday.
Yeah.
But I was able to pick up this book, and she threw in the rummage through my bag and pulled up the component pouch. Threw out this component pouch in for basically free. In all honesty, it was basically free.
Huh. She must have taken a
but-
shine to you.
Yeah, I'm not real too sure what to do with this since I don't think I need this. Maybe I might. I don't know. I'll figure it out.
It was an enchantment component pouch.
Well, I understand that, Gothy. But
I was just clarifying, okay?
I mean, Rara's been able to. I guess maybe she'll play around with the component pouch later once she finishes the book.
You find out it's just full of balls of yarn.
Ooh, got the yarn. Actually, Rara's more into shiny. She takes out her shot
Micro
glass.
machines.
God.
Hope you enjoyed this component pouch. Yeah.
But I am hoping to get it down at some point. Hopefully soon. So
I should
anyway,
let you know if I find any insights in any of the tomes that I've acquired.
I've
I will
actually done
definitely-
something similar in the past.
Oh,
I don't think you were around much when I did it, but
probably not.
yeah, I used to be able to get some kind of like divine favor from some god. I'm not sure which one, but it would power my weapon, and it would glow.
Is that how you got your spectral mace or hammer? Sorry.
No, that's a different effect,
Oh.
but
Oh.
I've actually been able to do something similar. I just haven't been doing it recently because it's too many other things to do all at once,
Right.
and it takes
The
a lot out of
dwarf
me to do it.
Mm.
The dwarf life. It's so busy.
So, pretty much everybody at this point bar Nyx and Katterina in Flare, so I'd like to know what Katterina's doing at the moment.
She's fitting in quite well with the rest of Dulldawn society. She is passed the fuck out in the stables with an owlbear.
And then, can you, Katterina,
Mhm.
can you roll me a dexterity saving throw, please?
Sorry?
Go on!
Okay, hold on. Thank God for this cloak. Okay, 11.
11. You, just, I guess, pure instinct of something coming near you because you nearly get walloped in the face by a horse hoof.
Sorry, by a what?
Jeez.
A horse hoof.
It's pretty common for a horse to be in the stable. And
Oh, sorry. I thought
Hey,
horse hoof.
Yeah.
I probably should have mentioned she actually fell asleep with her beat to shit loot across her lap. So she sees the horse hoof and she grabs it. She just rolls out.
yeah, you nearly get clobbered in the face by a horse hoof.
She's on her feet, shaky, holding it like a baseball bat, and just strikes it. Starts wiping the crumbs from her eyes. Oh God. Ugh. What was I? Is it? Oh no. Tucks it away and like scratching the small of her back. That Tom and Jerry kind of. What the fuck time is it? According to the sun, it's 3 o'clock.
Real.
So,
That was right off the dome. I was ready for that one.
due to your shock nature, that also wakes up Nessa, and the horses actually sort of cower back a bit as this behemoth lurches on all fours, barely fitting in the stable.
She looks at the horses. Sorry, excuse us.
Good morning.
And she's gonna try and make her way inside.
Okay. So Katterina or both you and Nessa, because if you remember, it was going to be a bit hard to get Nessa in the front door.
That's right. I feel like Nessa's gonna stay on open quotes guard duty just out of paranoia, but
Alright.
so she's gonna give
So-
Nessa a pat. She'll flump down, and Katterina will go inside, still just one eye half closed, scratching the back. It's just,
Yeah. So eventually you are joined by a rather scruffy-looking Katterina.
Warren, I think.
Quick question about the spell
Morning.
books.
Mm-hmm.
How are they gonna work with like? Do I spend like some time reading through each of them,
Yeah.
or reading through like I guess one of them, and then I can transpose the relevant spells.
Yeah. What it would also be, I'd probably as a ruling do the thing where it's like because it's an extra spell on top of what you already know, it's going to be a once a day thing. So
isn't it I transcribe it into my spellbook?
oh right.
As a normal spell.
Yeah, you know what? Go yeah. Just use it as a normal spell.
Okay.
Sorry, I probably should have thought that more through, but you know, other things got in the way. So yeah, no, just transcribe it into your spellbook and use it as a normal spell on what you already know.
I mean, like if it was like an oversight of like how much of the cost it is to add me another spell, I can happily like retroactively treat the magic inks and stuff as more expensive.
No, it's all right. It's been a rough week. Just put it that way.
Word.
But yeah, so I'd say with the size of like your books that you collected, each one will probably take you about a night to get through.
Okay. So I'll say I spent like, other than the hour ritual it took to summon back Esker. I missed him. Maybe I'll have gone through half of a book because it's like half of a night and then trance and then the rest of the time.
Sure.
Okay, so we'll say I've gotten through half of Summon Face Spirit.
Okay.
Ooh.
No, it makes sense. Yeah, it got me all inspired. I was like, oh, summoning face spirits. Oh, I should do this now. And I bring back Esker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll summon some friends for you.
Okay, so again, apart from Nyx at this current point in time, everybody else is gathered in like the main foyer of the Lock and Barrel.
Where's the food?
So,
Good question.
to get food, you'd need to walk up to the bartender, who would ask, like, once you place your order in, just for breakfast, it's not much. It's just like 5 copper for plain like breakfast, like fry up.
Thump. There it is.
Yeah.
'Cause apparently my copper coins are made of beef. Just thump.
And he'll go for a door behind him, which just a quick glance before he shuts it, you can see is a kitchen. And the smell emanating from there isn't as pleasant as All Jolson's, but given the fact of what you had the previous night at All Jolson's, that's not really surprising.
It's a tough act to follow.
Yeah.
So gold is 10 silver, 10 copper is 1 silver, I think, right?
Yeah, 10 copper is 1 silver, 10 silver is... It just goes in
all
tens.
multiplications of 10, I get it.
Yeah.
Unlike World of Warcraft, whereas 10 copper or 100 copper is 1 silver, 100 silver is 1 gold.
Yeah, that's more what I'm used to.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Low exchange rates.
Of course, we have Electrum to sully the mix, but nobody uses that shit.
I was actually gonna say like Electrum pieces don't exist. It's just just copper, silver, gold, platinum.
Mm.
You know, because that's Forgotten Realm shit, and well, this isn't Forgotten Realms. So for last.
There we go. Alright, so yeah, I also obviously will pay for a meal. And I guess sit down in the. Is there like a mess hall?
It's like I said, it's like, so you got a lot of round tables. You have it's like when you walk into this main floor, it's like a traditional tavern setup. You have the bar, you have all the round tables and that. But just off to the sides are these two big staircases. Like, you know, the type where it's like a staircase up each side of the wall, going off into the let's say the western western east wing of like the hotel part of it. And then underneath, like where the stairs go up, and obviously the banister hangs over, there is another set of double doors that you would imagine would be the hotel rooms at ground level, essentially.
Nice.
Tell you what, Gothy, I'm gonna knock off another 20 platinum from my reserves for the ink bottles, the magic high quality inks.
All right.
Oh yeah.
So I think that makes sense.
All right. It's up to you.
Oh, what are you doing with that platinum? Are you giving it to me? What? Said you were knocking it off. You didn't like, putting it on the table and smacking it. What? Scrambles, motherfucker.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Scatter.
do the DM a solid and say that like I'm getting spells out of this shit. Like I figured I was getting away with it dirt cheap.
Hey,
So,
if it's of benefit to you and my fuck up, ignore it.
I mean, you know, after using Vendrak as the negotiating equivalent of a battering ram, yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Still brilliant. It still unlocks the door.
So,
Yeah.
after having a semi-pleasant meal, your standards are now quite high.
Wait, I forgot to take away. I forgot to take away the copper from my pouch. How much was it?
5 copper.
So 5 copper.
For
So 1
breakfast,
gold,
yeah.
turn into 10 silver, then turn 1 silver into 10 copper, and then take 5.
Oh God, what?
You have 1 less gold. Yeah, okay. You use 1 less gold. You have at least 9
thank you.
silver now, and then you have 5 copper.
So 72 gold.
Silver, you mean?
Yeah, you take off 1 gold, and then you have 9 silver, and then 5
Oh,
copper.
you're doing that.
remaining. Yeah.
Okay. So 1 silver and then 10 copper.
Yeah, but you cut that copper in half because you're using 5.
Oh, sorry.
So you
Sorry.
got. Okay, so look. Okay, put it this way. Okay, 1 gold is like 100 copper.
Yeah.
1
Yeah,
gold is
yeah.
100 copper. So just.
All right,
put-
so then it would be 72 gold, which I had 73.
Yeah.
9 silver, 5 copper.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
God, why? Why can't we just give him 1 gold?
I mean, you could just turn 1 gold into 100 copper.
You could.
That would be the same thing. Then you just take off 5 copper.
You could just give him a gold.
LOL math.
Before
I mean-
you lot start arguing, has anyone took breakfast up to next?
Oh, Nyx is still there, right?
Yeah, Nyx is still up in her room.
Oh,
I
she's
got
still
it.
up. Why is she
You're
not
gonna
coming
bring it
down
up?
to join us?
She'll be busy for another, was it 8 hours?
16.
16.
16 additional hours.
Katterina goes up to the bar and puts another 5 coppers. Like, more, please.
Sure.
Some sort of study? What is she?
No hair in the dog.
A dog.
Okay.
Hair of the dog.
Sorry. Puts 5 copper on the bar and is going to get some food to take up to the ranger.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
That's
Thank
very
you.
nice.
Good idea.
Reading glasses back on. I'm in the book.
I guess it'd be
Katterina, you know, takes the plate eventually, waddles up to where Nixon.
Sorry. Katterina gets to the foot of the stairs and goes, "Which one's her room? I didn't get to go up." I was outside.
It's true.
It's number 316.
Of course.
I don't give a damn. Up the stairs she goes.
Uh,
316, you cheeky bugger.
Why not?
Yeah.
She's holding a plate of food. She knocks on the door gently with her forehead.
Forehead.
I open the door.
Oh, I just plate.
You know.
Hi,
Oh,
brought you breakfast.
Wonderful.
What are you doing in there?
A very, very long, very, very, very long ritual.
Oh, okay. I'll leave you to it then. Enjoy the breakfast. It's really good. It's not as good as Jolson's, but hey, food. Enjoy. Best of luck.
Thank you. Bye.
Walking away from room 316, she looks at the 2 silver rings on her 2 middle fingers and walks away.
You hear glass shattering in the background now.
What's going on in there?
a ritual.
That's not a ritual. That's a wedding.
Bloody funeral.
Show 'em.
Anyway,
Katterina comes
moving
back.
on from my references. So you make your way back down, and I suppose it's down to discussing what the rest of the party is going to be doing for the day.
Like the whole day?
Well, Nyx is going to be technically out of commission for 16 hours.
That could be enough time for me to read 2 books.
Ixnay is going to be Ixnay. All right.
I mean, if you do want to go a sort of roundabout way, you could say that you each go off to do a sort of each do a mini downtime while everybody sort of waits for Nyx to do the ritual and obviously rejoin the party.
16 hours is a long time if you think about it. I could go make a weapon or something.
I was not ready for that.
Rara closes her book partway through the chapter she was reading, and just sort of like looks over at the party, and then looks outside. He's like, "Oh, it's that time. I'll see you guys later. I'm off to go pick up something I had commissioned yesterday. You guys have fun. I'll see you later." And she just gets up and closes the book and puts in her satchel. Sort of like flicks her tail to like kind of like get all the ground dust off of it, and just starts trotting on out to the blacksmith.
Okay, so you're heading to the Tordello to see Dave the blacksmith, because I'm terrible at names, to get your
Dave. It was Dave.
Yeah, modified short sword.
Yeah.
So it's a fairly decent walk, because like the lock and barrel is sort of like located almost dead center of the domicile. So it's a given the size of the city, it's a decent 30-minute walk to get to the Tordello and to the blacksmith in particular.
All right. Is anything eventful happening along the way?
Some people are giving you side glances, but not in like a negative way. It's just there's not too many kobolds that come around. Like to describe like the, if you will, what's the word I'm looking for? Like the amount of different races in that inhabit Dulldawn. It's not out of the ordinary to see all different races. It's just kobolds aren't in Dulldawn very often. So
the metropolitan center.
So you see, various elves, humans, dwarves, a few Goliaths. The one race though you don't see virtually any of, at least in your travel. Compared to all the others that you do see, like halflings, gnomes, blah 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 blah, list goes on, is Nephilims.
Nephilims?
Yeah.
Nephilims? Like what Nevaeh is.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Alright.
But
Well,
Sorry, go on.
As she's just trotting along down the road or whatever, she just smiles happily as she's going to go pick up her new sword, her new plaything.
Yep. So,
So,
about after a, like I said, a 30-minute walk, you finally get to Dave the Blacksmith. It's like, the little kobold from yesterday. I have your
Yep.
weapon right here.
yay!
And he does. He hands you, and it's like he's thinned out the blade, and he has then sort of I don't know how swords are made, but he's stuck basically a dagger handle onto it. So the blade is thinned out, but the crossbar down is a dagger handle.
Well, I mean, sorry, I blanked out for a sec. So it's basically able to be wielded by her.
Yes.
All right, cool.
It's fun sized.
It is fun sized. I hate you people. She takes the blade and does it have a scabbard, which is the thingy that the blade goes in?
Yes.
To,
Yes.
like,
See,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so she takes the blade and she takes out of the scabbard and unsheaths it, and just sort of like balances it to try to make sure it's actually able to be lifted by her tiny frame. She's like, "Oh, it feels really good. Thank you so much. It's perfect. It's like the perfect size and it feels good. Thank you. It means a lot."
No problem. I do take pride in my craftsmanship. So
If-
producing a quality weapon is what I strive to do.
Well, you've definitely impressed me. So, if I ever happen to meet anyone who is passing through Dulldawn and wishes to procure a new piece of weaponry, I would definitely recommend them to you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So what she does is she sheaths it back up and didn't really think of how she's going to carry the sword. So like how she's going to carry it like on her, unless the sheath
Doesn't she
like
have a backpack now?
she does, but it's a satchel, but more so like how she's going to carry it, like so where she can reliably unsheath it when she needs to, unless the sheath has like a belt attachment to it, or the scabbard has like a belt attachment to it, which I don't know if it does. Does it?
It's basically like a two-way thing. It can be used as either a belt attachment or it can be strapped across you so that it hangs on your back.
I think she'd like it better if it was a belt attachment. So what she does is then I'll go back slightly. She just sort of like fastens it to her waist and just sort of tightens it, make sure that it doesn't like fall off or flail anywhere as she's walking.
Okay.
And just like sticks the scabbard or sheaths the sword and just like, "Have a great day, sir," and then walks away, walks out of the thing and heads back onto the
Lock and barrel.
Yeah, lock and barrel. Though she is curious about wanting. She kind of mumbles to herself, "Wonder if I can have some time to practice with this thing." Nyx is pretty predisposed at the moment. Maybe I can get some practice in by myself. So she's just sort of thinking out loud slightly about that.
Okay, so that's what Tsurara is thinking about on the way back.
On the way back to lock and barrel. So hopefully, she's like, I don't know how to really say this. Maybe she can try to like explore a little bit, see if she can find like some like I don't know, training dummies or some stupid thing like that, like a fucking video game.
No, unfortunately,
No.
you don't see any like training dummies. You'd imagine, after the realization of walking through and not seeing any, that you'd imagine that only places like the city watch and maybe the military barracks would have something of that nature.
All right. Well, then in that case, she just goes back to lock and barrel, and hopes that she can convince one of her companions to train to spar.
Okay.
But she does go back to lock and barrel with her shiny new blade.
Okay, cool. What is everybody else up to?
Slappy, do you have any plans set in stone for this mini downtime?
If it becomes evident that we have a lot of time, and we're not lighting the fire under the meeting, the meeting, trying to set up a meeting with Commander Tallius,
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna be deep in the books.
Okay.
Perfect. Katterina desperately wants to pick your brain about something.
Oh yes.
So she's gonna like scoot around the table and then find the one empty spot next to you while you are nose deep in this book. And she's gonna kind of poke your shoulder a couple times.
1 second.
1001.
Yes.
Hi.
Oh, you have a little. You still have a. There's some straw in your hair.
Whatever. I'll get it later. You. God, this is embarrassing. Vulen, you were really good with magic and books and stuff, right?
No. Thank you. Yes, I do my very best.
It shows. This is embarrassing. Do you know any way of? And she holds up her 2 middle fingers with the 2 silver rings. Boing. Do you know if there's a way I can push my magic through these instead of the stick?
Your fingers?
No, and then she like flexes the middle fingers to kind of point out the 2 silver rings. Like, no, these.
I'm just gonna say right off the bat, Vulen's not used to this gesture. It's not a common gesture. You've seen it once or twice, but never really understood the meaning behind it at this point.
Yeah. I've been through a lot of cultures. I've seen this probably what?
Yeah, Vulen's
Halfling?
probably more about the book smarts than the street smarts. So, I can
Yeah.
see that.
I've seen this from some halflings, maybe.
The first time Katterina's ever seen this gesture in action was at the now smoking
the
flaming
gnome.
flag.
It's right. It's a gnomish thing.
Yes,
That's
it's definitely a gnomish thing. Yes.
It's it's a particular type of nomenclature.
Wow! I'm gonna need a drink. Nomenclature. That's brilliant. I love that.
Are you referring to enchanting them, as Tsurara was mentioning?
Well, maybe not enchanting them. Look.
Oh,
And then she reaches behind her and she pulls out the quarter staff she has with the big cumbersome like sphere in it that she's been using as an arcane focus, and she kind of holds it out and says, "This thing, I don't use the stick. I'm too young to be leaning on it as a walking stick. I don't even hit people with it unless I'm trying to scare them. And this big thing, it keeps hitting doorways when I'm trying to. I'm trying to streamline. Like, is there a way I'd be able to channel magic through these?" And she holds the fingers up again.
Do you use them as some sort of a conduit?
Yeah, that.
Oh, here. Yes, I reach into my my robe, my inner pockets, and I produce the obsidian shard with a root twisted through it. Say like this. This is what I use. What I find is particularly helpful is to align yourself. Find something within the object that resonates within you as a way to tie your thoughts, it's quite literally a focus to it, and that will allow you to treat the object as both an extension of yourself and as an element of the world around you, to allow what is within you to manifest itself through it into the world. It's sort of an intermediary, but having something that has a connection with you makes it a little easier. If you have that already, you can create it. You can create it with almost anything, but it takes a little bit of effort if you don't have a pre-existing connection with it.
Oh, okay. Well, as soon as you say that, she kind of like she's sitting on the bench next to you. She scoots away from you just a little bit, pulls both of her feet up onto the bench, so she's sitting kind of crisscross applesauce.
Hmm.
She closes her eyes, she focuses really hard, and holds those two middle fingers high into the sky, trying to focus onto the rings.
There's like another table across from you, and just a guy sees this, and it's like, do you mind?
Yes, I do. I'm trying to focus. Closes her eyes again.
Foul people.
So yes,
It's not working.
this will take time. It takes some time and some imagination. Seeing the way that you cast spells, I trust imagination is something you have no shortage of. So try and visualize. It will probably be intensely personal, no matter what. And I imagine it will take time to solidify the imagery in your mind. Whenever you consider this object, you consider the spell, and you consider the imagery that will tie yourself to it.
Katterina,
Yes.
what is your spell DC?
My spell DC, as of right now, gotta find the third page. Spell save DC is currently a 16.
Alright. Roll me, basically, just a flat d20.
Flat D20? Okay.
Yeah.
That's a 2.
Right. So you focus and you focus and you focus and you focus, but just nothing's coming through.
And you watch the two middle fingers just kind of deflate, and she kind of slumps, but she's still got the crisscross applesauce going on the bench. You're right. It takes time.
Do you have a pen and ink with you?
Hang on. She hops up off the bench, goes back around to the stables where she left her bag.
Oh, jeez.
Because why be organized? She grabs her stuff, and as she walks out, she gently pats the horse on the side and comes back in. And just starts scrambling through stuff, just random tat and nonsense. Is probably a couple kebabs that did not keep through the night. She pulls out a chunk of parchment, little beaten to shit feather that she needs to replace someday, and an inkwell that's half dry. She's that guy.
What I find has been very helpful to my students in finding a personal connection with their magic, to allow themselves to basically intellectually relax, because so often, while it can be a very intellectual process, it can also be very intuitive. I find my students would take to it more by drawing. Draw some sort of imagery. Draw lines of ribbons, of chains, of ropes, of threads between an image that you find relaxes you to the sort of imagery you would like to see manifested in this world. Say, if you wish to cast, I just do a little prestidigitation. You wish to cast a spell like this, and I just prestidigitate just a little cloud of sparkles, cloud of pink sparkles. And I say, like, you would draw perhaps a small cloud onto the paper, and you would meditate on it, and then you would have an image it could be just an image of yourself, and you would close your eyes and let the pen just waver from the line, from the drawing of you to the drawing of the cloud, and you would see the shape that those lines take. You would do that repeatedly, see the shapes that the line take, and you could sort of attune your emotions to the shape of that line. If it's a jagged line, if it is tremulous, you can think about how you feel with that tumultuous nature. If it is a slightly wavering line, if it is a thread, then you can feel the relaxation. And just ruminate on the shapes that you feel your hand create. And it can allow you to attune to the emotion, and you place that emotion in the conduit. And that can help you to meditate and find the imagery to allow you to conjure the spells through it. allows you to associate the objects with the feeling of bringing forth this power. Do you understand?
Vulen, you are watching as your words are like almost visibly sinking into her head. Like this is clicking loud.
Vulen smiles warmly.
She doesn't really say anything. She just kind of nods, and then she's standing there with the quill and the paper, and she tucks them into the pockets of her outfit. And you know, that makes a lot more sense than 600 gold worth of paper. Thanks, Vulen. I appreciate that.
Anytime. I'm always happy to help.
Just for reference, Katterina,
Yes.
are you actually going to attempt this at all?
Not right now. She's gonna come back to it
Okay.
when there's less stable to sleep in and possibly like a bed roll out of the grass.
Sure.
It's kind of a time and a place thing for her.
Hey, roll for seduction.
Oh, jeez. Hi. That's hello.
So
I'm not sure why I turned into a Yorkie for a hot second there.
Hello there.
glad you could join us.
General Vendrak.
Once again, I am Lord Vader. I own Death Star.
Are you Mr. Stevens?
Jeez.
Are you Jeff Vader?
Yes, I'm Jeff Vader. Whatever.
Anyway.
Off we spiral. That is it for my downtime. Thank you, Slappy. That was fucking cool.
Yes, you want. Well, how about D&D?
Yep.
That and food stuff. What were they serving for breakfast?
It was basically a traditional all day breakfast fry up.
Okay, so a pan, like a bin of powdered eggs.
Eggs, sausage, like bacon, probably baked beans, stuff like that.
Nice.
It's like I said, it's not exactly to the standards you have now after going to all Jolson's the night before, but it's
I didn't pay
serviceable.
for breakfast. I finished my kebabs.
Yeah, Katterina skipped on the beans because, it's a
You got enough
texture
of that.
thing.
You got enough of that from the horses.
Oh my god. I was trying to be subtle.
Okay. Vendrak, you doing anything?
Yeah, I do have a plan, obviously.
Okay.
Well, first I wanted to go up to, I believe, Nevaeh, right?
Yep.
So, Nevaeh, what kind of weapon do you use? I'm kind of curious.
Nevaeh, you there?
I've got a battle axe, mace, or javelin.
I see. Battle axe, huh?
Oh yeah, do some damage with that.
Quite a lot. I was wondering, if you'd be interested in another kind of weapon.
What weapon?
That depends on you. I had a couple of things in mind.
Go on.
I had the idea of maybe perhaps a pike or a trident. Or if you're feeling a little adventurous, but it'll take a little bit of time, I could try making you a lance.
Lance would be good.
A lance, huh?
Trident would be exceptional.
It's a bit of a weird weapon, I have to admit.
Yeah.
Especially to use it on foot. I mean, if you're riding on something, it'd be clearly a lot easier to use. But and if you think it'd be useful for you, I can make one for you. It'll take me a few days though. I won't be able to get to you right away, but I can get started on it tonight or today.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Lance would be fantastic.
Wonderful. I'll get started on that as soon as possible.
Thank you.
And yeah, I really want to show people that no, I'm not a shoddy blacksmith, and I'll prove it.
Okay. We'll find out.
I guess we will.
Wait, Vendrak was a blacksmith? Is a blacksmith? I didn't know that.
Yeah, Vendrak is a bit of a blacksmith. He used to. Well, how much should I say? Are you there? Where are you?
I'm speaking out of character at the moment, so.
I think Rawa was around for at least once or twice of some less than stellar reviews.
Well, Ardente was my mentor.
Oh, I think when it was mentioned, Rara wasn't really paying any attention. So because she doesn't like to butt into other people's business unless it's like it directly interests her. Like for instance, with some things regarding what's it called, Katterina, since she is quite.
Yeah, him and Ardente were both part of a traveling caravan.
Oh, okay, I did not know that. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Damn, now I'm kind of regretting buying the fucking sword from the blacksmith.
Well, it takes me a while, and I mean, it's
depending on how this goes.
All right. Well, I need to go get supplies. Then I'm gonna hope I can live up to expectations. But then again, my expectations seem pretty low centered on me right now. But I'm gonna fix that.
By any chance, were you saying that like down in the I guess common area?
Wherever Nevaeh was, I went overdue.
Yeah, this would be foyer still.
Okay.
So I don't know if everyone else is still in the foyer or not. I don't know. I'm just...
I mean, Rara's not. She's still out. I think I would assume so. Since I'm guessing all of this other stuff is happening while Rara is gone.
Pretty much, yeah.
All right. Crafting is quite an interesting beast, I have to tell you. So, yeah, I guess right now what Vendrak is going to need to do is actually get some of the materials to make a lance.
Yeah.
And, so I guess where would I even look for that? I mean, obviously I'm going to head back out to the market.
Yeah.
And...
I mean, probably blacksmiths might carry supplies, like that to actually sell.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of going.
But apart from that, ironically, the probably closest thing to that would actually be something like a mine. But in order to get to the nearest mine, you'd have to go back down to the hive.
Yeah, that makes the cost of it a little counterproductive. So
yeah, your best bet would be find a blacksmith or anybody that just does general metal work.
Yeah, because as far as the scene crafting, it takes like half the cost of the market value of the weapon, and I can craft 5 gold of that value per day. So it'd take me 2 days to make the lance.
2 days.
2 days for 5 gold instead of 10 gold is basically how it works. I don't know if you want to make any changes to that or.
I'm only. I believe me.
That's up to you.
I'm not trying to hinder you, but for just pure character flavor, I'd also on each day have you make a roll.
That's fine, but I get to roll with proficiency.
Yeah, sure.
The thing is, what stat would I roll? I guess maybe strength, because I mean, you ever see a skinny blacksmith?
Yeah, no, it probably would be strength.
All right, I guess I'd go try to get the supplies of the blacksmith first. So like I said, I end up running into Tsurara a little bit. So I'll give it a little bit of a hello.
Yeah, I imagine you have to try and secure a facility.
Same as pole arms are.
Sorry?
Is a lance a martial weapon? Like a pole
Lance
arm?
is a martial weapon.
Yeah.
It has a special attribute though, which makes it a little bit unique.
Okay.
The thing about a lance, which was why I kept saying it was a little bit of a strange option. Well, first off, it needs 2 hands to wield if you're not mounted, which is one thing, sure. But secondly, you have a 10-foot reach, but if the enemy is within 5 feet, like next to you, then you have disadvantage on your hits.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's a little bit of a weird weapon, but if you're like right at the sweet spot, you're basically doing a lot more than you typically do for a weapon. Like I mean, it does like 12 damage or something, 1d12.
Yeah.
So it's pretty strong, but it requires proper spacing. It's interesting weapon. And if you can get on top of something like a mount, I don't know, you'd be able to use it one-handed, so you can use a shield with it.
That's cool. That's all right then.
I mean, you could always chase me down and be like, I've changed my mind. I don't know. Up to you.
No, that sounds cool, I think. Yeah, it does. That sounds okay.
Some of the other weapons I was thinking was like the trident and the pike. Pike is force two-handed, does less damage, but it has the 10-foot reach. And then the trident was going to be a throwing weapon that you can two-hand for 1d8 instead of 1d6.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess lance is good. I like the idea of
Yeah,
a lance user.
Yeah,
It's always
I'll
cool.
pick the lance, I think.
I mean, technically, well, with obviously Katterina's permission, you technically do have a mount.
Yeah, technically. I don't want to like go too much into it, but yeah.
Yeah, I can get on top of her, can't
Oh
I?
man. And I imagine Nevaeh with the wings. I get a Flash Gordon.
Actually, yeah. Would that counteract the mount? If she can fly?
That
If she
is
can fly,
so
doesn't that
weird.
can't that counteract a mount thing? Would she technically need a mount?
That's an interesting point, actually. Holy shit.
Right. Oh, yeah.
I think the idea of needing to be on the mount is because you're kind of like resting it on the beast a little bit.
Yeah, it's a jousting posture.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, it's a jousting lance.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it would be too heavy if I was to fly, wouldn't it?
Well, no, not if you're wielding it two-handed.
Yeah, well, you know, that's actually, you know what? That's genius because the difficulty is like within 5 feet, right? But you could always just float 10 feet in the air and just stab straight down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
true.
Yeah, you can.
Huh.
Death from
I
a
didn't think
fucking
about
above.
Yeah.
You're just poking someone and they're trying to jump to reach at you.
Yeah.
Oh, this is great. Imagination.
Mountain.
Oh, God.
From 10 feet above. Oh, what's that on your face? It was pain.
Just
That's
make sure you
ingenious.
don't get in the way.
Nobody was getting
Oh
away.
man.
Right.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, don't want to kill off one of you lot, do I? Mind you, it was an accident, Your Honour.
It's
So,
raining lances. Holy shit.
I mean, would you like me to roleplay gain the materials, or should we just like move along a little bit? 'Cause I don't want to take too much time from you guys.
Yes. We'll just say that you get the materials. I'll have to look up how much materials would actually
Alright.
be.
The
Oh wait,
Well,
you actually have it, don't you?
It would normally cost half the market value. The market value for lance is 10 gold,
Oh right, okay.
so it would cost me 5 gold to buy it.
Alright,
Especially with
normal.
Vendrak, the expert negotiator.
yeah. All right. Yeah. So we'll
And I
just
can
to
only
not,
make half the today.
yeah. So just to not take up too much time, we'll easily say that you go to Toledo, you find a blacksmith, whatever, you pick
You
up the
want me to
materials. Yeah, just roll like when you're actually crafting it.
Well, that's basically what I'm doing now. Yeah, because I have 16 hours, 8 hours
Alright.
a day you can spend on it to
Okay.
make 5 gold worth. So
I am setting.
roll.
In that case,
I hate that my last roll was a 20, because now I don't know what the hell I get.
Hold on, wait. Just before you roll, just so I have a gauge, what is your strength modifier? And plus proficiency. Like, what is your
Strength and proficiency combined?
Yeah, what will the bonus be?
It'd be a +5.
+5. Okay.
Oh wait, +6. Sorry, because
Plus-
proficiency bonus is 3 now, not 2.
All right. This.
+3 strength, +3 proficiency.
Okay, so I'm gonna set the DC at 13.
13. Okay,
That's reasonable.
it's a little scary, but alright. Oh god, that's the last thing I want to have is my character be like thrown off, being like, "Oh, this weapon actually is shit, you asshole." So it's
Can
+6.
clerics use guidance on themselves?
Guidance.
Is that a thing they can do?
You touch a willing creature. I think.
unless
So
unless you're not willing to take it.
Yeah.
It's
If
kind of
you're not
strange. Does that work?
You're not
I'm
willing
gonna
to
check.
touch yourself.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm pretty sure you can affect yourself.
Sick.
Kind of weird. Patting myself on the back here. Range of touch, concentration up to a minute. You touch a willing creature.
Doing the very anime
Before.
pro tag things like the face slap.
I was just gonna say he's gonna slap himself in the face. You can do this. You can do this. You
Oh,
can do
yeah,
this.
worst case scenario, right? Is I just invoke duplicity, so I make a duplicate of myself. Then I use my duplicate to touch me. So, I mean,
That
I-
worked.
It's like
I've
a
had that kind of
scene
for a long
from a
time.
movie, just toweling him down, spraying his face. Vendrak's like, "Cut me, coach, cut me."
Oh god.
Why?
Fucking rock thing.
I don't know. Just cut me.
Okay. Yeah, sure, you know what? I'll use it. I mean, it's a cantrip. Whatever.
Yeah, go for it.
I touch my.
You gotta be careful with that
I always
wording.
touch myself.
I always touch myself before I work with hard metal.
Gotta de-stress. You gotta clear the mind. You gotta focus.
Although one arm won't be usable.
Sorry.
Okay.
Uh,
I mean, that's what the duplicity's for.
damn it! Well, that's a new whole meaning behind "fuck yourself."
Hey, baby, it's masturbation. All right, let's roll this. I guess I add the +4. Oh, I guess I add a D4 afterward because
Yeah.
This is one so I'll just roll 6 and. Well, do I even need to? I roll a 25. You don't forget it. The guidance
Yeah.
is a thing, but I don't need it. I'm not gonna roll.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah,
do it.
you severely pass.
That 1925. I'll show them all.
Yes, your ambition to show everybody that you are not a shoddy blacksmith, does
Yeah, like
Pace you
the
through.
dwarven eyes.
yeah. I mean,
And-
there's such an intensity that the anvil, the forge that you're using, is like one that's like general use, like with one blacksmith that you brought the materials off, and like it was so intense, he's having to almost drag you back from the forge. He's in fear that you're gonna throw yourself in it. You're that intense.
Woohoo.
Do not get in the way of an artisan at work.
All right, bloody hell.
I will show you all. Yeah, so I'm sure the clangs can be echoed throughout the town quite a bit. Of how hard I'm smacking it. God, where's
Indeed.
Oh, the anvil. The anvil. Okay, you gotta specify what you're smacking.
hold on?
Yeah.
Wait,
And then I get to work.
I got the perfect thing. Hold on, give me a second here.
Well, John Henry was just a little baby.
If you pull out the book of erotic fantasy, you're out of the game.
No. Here, I'm just gonna give you guys this real quick. I'll put it in the general here.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
There you go. Very fast Andre smithing at incredible high speed.
Oh yeah,
Oh my god.
this is what it's like to go further beyond.
That's basically what.
All right.
Fucking love Dungeons and Dragons.
All right then.
Prithee be careful.
So yeah, you pass immensely. Unless anybody's doing anything else, should we fast forward to after 16 hours?
Well, yeah.
good.
Well, what's Nevaeh doing? We know what Nyx is doing, but
Is Nevaeh doing anything in particular during these 16 hours?
Cruising.
No, just wandering, talking to locals.
Okay.
Can we have Rara actually arrive back at the tavern?
Yeah, sure.
All right, cool. So,
it'd be bold of me to assume you'd be continuing the book studies.
possibly. But I want to do a little bit of role playing. So Rara just comes back from her little jaunt and has a really large smile on her face. And just sort of like goes back over to where Vulen is sitting down and just plops on down. Takes off her satchel, plops it onto the table, takes out the book and flips it open to where she was and just starts reading some more. Just the biggest grin on her face, like super happy, tail wagging and everything.
Oh, you seem satisfied.
Very much so. I was able to meet this amazing blacksmith yesterday, and he actually made me a custom sword. So yay, I get to actually experiment on my enchanting on the sword. It's like the perfect size and weight and everything, and I absolutely love it. She pulls out the sword and just sort of like, holds it like, like nicely, but not like waves it around, and to show Vulen the sword.
Just a nice healthy brandish.
Mm. It's very nice, very shiny. I like it. And she
Oh, it
pets it.
suits
And
you.
she pets the sword and puts it back in the scabbard.
Splendor and light. How very appropriate.
Yes,
This
very
is a,
very
this
nice.
is a beautiful image. At the side of this table, there is Tsurara the kobold wagging her tail and looking through a book. There's Vulen looking as studious as ever, also looking through a book. And next to him is the gremlin Katterina, still cross-legged on the bench, staring intently at a single piece of parchment, waiting for something to materialize in her brain.
Okay, so you're actually doing this, yes? The parchment thing?
She's kind of just like, like she's not intently trying to. She's just kind of staring at the parchment, waiting for something to like click in her brain before she puts pen to paper.
Okay, can you roll me straight d20, please?
Another straight d20, sure.
Yeah, tell me if it's odd or even.
Odd or even?
Yeah.
It's 50-50, yeah.
That's a 19, so it's odd.
Okay, so something does click in your brain, and you start, like, so you know, you're doing the whole thing, eyes shut, and it's like you're letting your hand guide you. And once your hand stops moving and you open your eyes, you've drawn a cube.
Oh boy. She just kind of looks at the paper, faces it toward Vulen, and taps him on the shoulder again. I don't know what I did.
Oh, you. Oh, is this what? Is this what came to mind first?
I don't know. I just kind of let the pen do its own thing. I know that sounds really stupid, but just stick with me. I don't know. It's the first thing that popped into my head, outside of I'm tired.
Rara sort of glances over and is like, "Oh, pretty cute." Goes back to reading.
Keep in mind, this is the same cube that made her blow a hole in the ground and sent her flying back 20 feet when we made stir fry that night.
How does? What does meditating on the imagery of the cube make you feel?
I don't know, because I don't remember that.
I don't know. I keep thinking back to that. I was holding the cube. I was casting magic spells and just making a lot of weird stuff happen. And then I flew in a way I really didn't want to. And then I gave it to you because I'm not fucking with that.
Make me a wisdom save.
No,
Wisdom
that was-
save?
that was
Yeah.
Glen and Vale, wasn't it? Was that Glen and Vale? What happened? The cube of that.
Yeah. Once again, thank God for that cloak.
And everything.
Fucking hell. Wisdom save, a total of 8.
Total of 8. It then hits you. It's like that. Then it's like in your head. It's like, you know what? Like, I actually felt like that. I could use that. I could use that cube. It really helped like my powers, and it's almost like you're being drawn to it.
Hey, Vulen,
Yes.
give me the cube, please.
May I ask why?
I need it. Maybe it's what's gonna help me. Maybe this is what's gonna help make these rings a thing. I don't know. You saw what I did to my magic. And in the back of her mind, she's like, "No, that fucking hurt. I got launched 20 feet across the field."
I did see. I think apparated 6 gelatin spaghetti creatures. I don't know if they were you or what, but I did see how it affected your powers, and that is among my many concerns with the cube. I might suggest simply ruminating on the imagery of it. I would like to keep it under. Play it close to the chest, shall we say? This thing, this mysterious object, it has caused me some trepidation, especially the imagery that has been foisted on us by it.
And her eyes widen a little bit when she remembers the shit she saw.
Oh yeah. Did Vulen end up seeing something similar, or was it just stopped at the figure in the eye?
Vulen got as far as the figure in the eye. Katterina and Nyx got the tree Yggdrasil blowing up, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the figure in the eye and like the wasteland was enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. The disturbing imagery that seems to have affected us with contact with the cube. I feel it is definitely a dangerous artifact, an ill portent. That I do not think any sort of use of it as a conduit would be advisable. But perhaps focus on the feeling that it inspires within you. See if that means anything to you.
Okay. She still really wants it, but that's some good points. We saw some awful shit when we held that thing. But there's that dichotomy.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, she feels it, but she's like, no, but I know. I want it.
I know it could potentially give me the power to snap the neck of a god, but you know, maybe I want to roll it across the table, see if I get a 6. I don't know.
Any fuckers now.
Fine.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Hey.
Back to pouting and just staring at the doodle she made, and it's fascinated how clean her lines are. Like, I didn't know I could do that. That was the first time you guys have seen her draw anything that wasn't a dick in the dirt.
We got a jester.
Well, I don't think Rara's really seen her draw anything. So, for all Rara knows is she's a master artist.
Dirty dicks.
Well, I'm not even there, so I still only know Katterina as the dick drawer.
God. Okay. So,
Because to be completely honest, Rara doesn't really know the party too super well. I mean, yeah, she's been through quite a bit with them, but she doesn't really actually know them.
And honestly, you know, we're not like longtime friends or anything, so there's still stuff. There's still stuff.
oh yeah, there's still a various amount you don't know about each other. I can confirm that.
Gothy, what was the name? So there was the divination books. There was Conjuration of Elizium, Divination of Elizium. What was the other one called?
Ocularis Singularum.
Oh, that's one. Yeah, that was the fucking good one. Or the weird one. I'm interested in that one. So I think the 2 books I'll be perusing today are finishing off Summon Face Spirit.
Yeah.
And beginning on the Ocularis Singularum. In fact, that's good timing. Yeah, after you bring up the cube, I think we're several hours into the day. Where I've finished off Summon Face Spirit. And thinking about the cube, I'm starting to think about, you know, looking into dark places, looking into the darkness, and Lucy's mysterious apprehension, her vague warnings.
I'm like, oh, that's right.
I'm like, Here's an interesting point, though. And I start cracking open. All right. I get another mug of tea from the bartender, and start reading the Ocularis Singularum.
All right.
Should I mark off? I guess does reading it like that, does that count as doing the transcription, or would that be a separate task?
Nah, you can do it at the same time.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, it'll be taking notes as I go.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll mark off 1 bottle of ink for Summon Face Spirit. Yeah.
Okay, so unless anybody is doing anything else, shall we sort of past time to 16 hours.
Yes.
Alright, so... Nyx, once you get this idea in your head about the ritual, and hopefully that it might work, after 16 hours, your wish has been granted. You now, in a very cramped room now, have a direwolf in front of you.
Yes. Awesome.
Although the question now beckons, how the bloody hell am I going to get this out the door?
Okay, yeah, fair point. Okay.
I'm just gonna come back to
Is there a window?
There is a window, but yeah.
I'm gonna hear.
And actually, as you arrive back, Vendrak, you notice that
Oh well.
there's a bit of a.
Describe how Vendrak looks real quick. His hair is blasted back. He's covered in like dark soot. Okay. He's also like just glistening, and he's just his helmet's off to his side or whatever. He's holding it in his arm. He's just like exhausted.
Somebody call Boris Vallejo.
Yeah.
And
Okay. So yeah, I arrive.
yeah, and once you get to the once you get into the foyer along with the rest of the party, all of you start to hear really loud bangs coming from the direction that Nyx's room would be.
So we
Vendrak is not even
there.
gonna consider that strange because the past how many hours had just been banging in the first place. He's just gonna assume he's still somehow working on it because he's just that exhausted.
Yeah, the door frame's now in the corridor.
Yeah, the door's in the corridor. Never mind the bloody door.
When then
The door, the frame, and half the
a
fucking
few
door.
moments later, it's like you think, a strange noise. Then it gets louder, and it's almost in the sound of, will be close to a gallop. Coming down the corridor is
Sure, it's
a.
fucking wolf she's made and not a fucking horse.
That's why I said sounding like a gallop. Is a rather large direwolf with a Nyx running behind it.
Shouting, come back, come back.
Yeah.
And
That's the best you can get on me for a gallop.
and you're having so you're having a little bit of trouble as you're not used to a beast companion, and they get to like the end of the corridor where you would have the banister, and this thing just leaps from the banister to the floor,
Okay.
and the
Oh,
bartender,
okay, yeah, I'm really dying.
the owner of the Lock and Barrel is wide-eyed, and every other patron.
I'm looking apologetically
himself.
around at everyone.
Well,
All that's he's able to utter from the sheer shock is, "How did that get in here?"
Can we all see this now? Or...
Oh yeah, it's almost like right next to you.
Long story.
That's not a pony!
Where the fuck did that come from?
So this would be Tanaway.
Is Nick still up on the banister?
Yeah, she's sort of like leaning over the banister, trying to shout down to you.
Katterina like looks at this big horse of a dog and then slowly pans her vision up. Oh, hi, Nix.
Hey.
Oh, hi,
You're
Nyx.
brilliant.
Is this one yours?
It is.
You know, stables are gonna get more expensive the more we travel.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Rara is just too into her book to really notice.
How do you not is some sized dog falling from the goddamn sky.
More like
Books.
more like horse-sized wolf.
Books.
Yeah.
Books.
Ra-
Okay, fair.
He's into it.
Okay, then
Katterina's dad would agree with you.
at this point, Rara just sort of looks up. He's like, "Oh, okay," and goes back to her book.
Okay.
I'm going to the bar. I think we need a drink.
Yeah.
Somehow completely unfazed by this giant dog said, there's the blacksmith in the Toledo. His name is Nix? Or his name is Dave? Sorry, Nix. He's got a really good deal on saddles. I couldn't get one because I couldn't afford armor. But yeah, saddles are great.
So-
like a really good idea.
So yeah, when that wolf first landed, Vendrak just like kind of shot up a little bit from his like ragged self. He's like, I showed him up. What? Oh. I'm gonna need to sit down. And he just slumps down into like the wall, by the wall. Just slumps down. Just, okay.
After a rather vigorous conversation with the bartender explaining what has happened, he politely, but with a sort of panic in his voice, asks you, could you please... No, asked if you could take your wolf to the stable. And never bring it in again.
Absolutely. I'm so very sorry for like terrifying the patrons.
Well, at least I don't have to empty my sack now.
And I go outside with Tanaway.
Okay. So you lead Tanaway round to stay away. Also, you see Nessa as well.
I was gonna say Nessa's still outside.
The ironic thing is that even though the fact this is a direwolf, Nessa's still bigger. Like the direwolf, if you were to put like a height on it, would be probably more around 10 foot in height.
So it's a third smaller than Nessa.
No, but third smaller than Nessa, because Nessa's 16 foot long, whereas the direwolf is about 10 foot long.
So, Vendrak, eventually you're gonna get a familiar that's just a fucking panzer, right?
Well, currently Vendrak is thinking about how Vulen was probably going to, ride on his bird at this point, since everyone else is getting giant feasts.
I'm sorry to derail, but this is just fucking brilliant.
Does everyone get a familiar at some fucking point?
No, this isn't bloody
Or is it
Pokemon.
just only like a few people.
These are mostly like class abilities and stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's just kind of funny how this is turning out, and
Well, if we want to pool our money and get a wagon, we can travel faster now.
Yeah, Vulen slowly, he had slowly lowered his book, taken off, and gently folded up his reading glasses, set them down in the book, looks to the direwolf, and looks over to Esker, and Esker just looks back at him, shrugs his wings. Vulen shrugs back.
doesn't someone have the size changing spell? I don't remember what it's called.
Enlarge reduce.
Yeah, enlarge reduce. Doesn't someone have that?
Yeah,
I have it. Rara does.
Oh god.
Wait, are you saying that out of character or in character?
That's out of character because I'm like
Okay.
I'm thinking like, doesn't someone have that? Because like I'm pretty sure that you could just make a giant Esker at that point, and that would be something.
I mean, you did make a giant Nessa when you're in the underground barracks.
Oh god, I remember that now. I don't think that was during the streams. I think that was before it.
No,
No,
it
it
was not
was
during the
no.
stream.
unfortunately.
Oh god.
Fucking Katterina's losing it.
So everyone's gonna be on these giant fucking beasts, and it's Vendrak and Tsurara. I mean, Tsurara, I guess we'll climb on Vendrak. It'll be like a tower of power. I don't know.
Onward!
Well, I mean that's sort of what Tsurara did with Nessa. She just climbed on top of Nessa and just started chucking ice knives at the not the Cyclops, the troll.
Oh, Vendrak remembers the ice knife.
Not those ice knives.
Oh god.
So yes, you lead Tanaway into the stable, and once Tanaway's there, and you go back into the foyer. Now is about around the time where you would probably start thinking, okay, what are we, really gonna do now?
I say we find the captain.
Well, being 16 hours, I trust we're gonna be in for the night first.
Commander Tallius, yeah, that's who we.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you basically only stay up for 16 hours a day as it is.
Yeah, so
Exactly. That's a full ass day right there.
yeah.
Remarkably productive one too.
All
Yeah.
because Nyx wanted a bloody direwolf.
Fucking worth it though.
You know,
Fine.
sure, we're in Dulldawn. You get to hang out for a little bit. Do a little shopping.
Well, Vendrak may finally have the opportunity to, and I quote, show them all.
Nah.
Oh man.
All because Nick's went to the fucking direwolf.
Yep.
That still means he needs another 8 hours at some point. I don't know when that's gonna happen, but currently he's got like a half-made lance shoved in his backpack.
Okay, so
Finish it on the road.
as
Takes a while.
Vulen said, probably at the wrap, because it is by the time Nyx has finished the ritual, it is definitely evening. It is, because you see a lot of more patrons actually enter the Lock and Barrel more as the bar, not getting a room as such. So you're thinking maybe a load of workers are obviously now off, and there are a few people actually buying rooms to stay. So
Yeah, and
despite the obviously the constant dawn light, just based on the activity of what people are doing, you can sort of estimate that it's around evening time.
Dulldawn is currently a duller dawn.
Nah.
Well, yeah, it's not like Vendrax could really move that much. I mean, he's done. He hammered of all he's got. His arm's a little sore.
It's that late, is it?
Oh yeah, that's a long ass day of smithing.
Yeah.
And what was the cost again for the about gold or something?
It's 5, right?
It's 5 gold, wasn't it?
5 gold.
Yeah.
5 gold a night.
All right.
Oh, well,
So he
the rooms, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, the
Yeah,
rooms.
'cause I need to rent another evening.
No, the rooms for say 2 people in each room was 1 silver.
A silver.
Yeah.
Oh, so still between us.
2 people in a room is a silver.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's just gonna grab the coin from his
I
silver
see.
pack. He's gonna give it here. I need another night.
Yeah, sure. It's like the
Thank you.
bartender.
And he's just
It is he has not stopped almost being in this panic mode.
Vendrak was, but I mean, he's just too tired at this point to have any emotion. He's basically almost like it's dragging himself due to willpower alone.
Yeah.
He's just crawling to bed, and once he hits the bed, you could probably hear a muffled "Ugh" from his room.
That is possibly the dwarfiest thing you have done in this entire campaign. I love it. Katterina is going to elect to head back to the stables and snuggle up with an owl bear, but on the way out, she pulls out the loot and. Oh God! I'll figure this out.
Oh, it's actually not. It's not just an owl bear now. It's also a direwolf.
Yeah.
Stables?
Vulen goes to Nyx. Nyx, your friend, your wolf friend. How well do you know its temperament? I worry because of a wolf in the stable with the horses.
That is a very good point. I'm wondering actually go and spend some time in the stable with my wolf.
Uh,
To make sure it behaves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just keep
roll
it
me
calm.
animal handling.
Oh.
What was that?
Animal handling.
Yeah. Should be near the top of your skills.
Near the top, yeah, second one.
It is. Where am I? Second? I know it is. What is it?
Your second skill, yeah.
Where should it be? Animal.
The
It's your
first,
second skill
yeah,
in your skills page.
the skills on the first page.
First
Okay.
acrobatics, second
Yeah,
animal
yeah.
handling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So. Oh my god.
God. All of your threats.
What did you roll?
Critical fail. On its own.
Okay.
Oh shit.
How much?
So she's
Sorry, I
got the
didn't hear.
She critically failed.
fucking roll.
So, actually, because Katterina was the one there first, you start to notice that Tanaway is looking at the horses and is starting to almost foam at the mouth. She's actually, is Tanaway male or female?
Male.
Male. Seems to be rather hungry.
Don't you?
Oh.
You better feed him. You better feed him, bitch.
Katterina's bag is still in the stable, like in the corner where she and Nessa were napping last
Yeah.
night.
Oh, actually.
Otherwise, she would be scrambling for the ration.
we bought extra
We
meat,
bought
didn't
extra
we?
meats. That's what I'm saying.
Yes,
You need to
I
feed
bought
him.
those offcuts, didn't I?
Yes, you need to feed him.
Right, yes, I'm gonna feed Tanaway before he eats a horse.
Okay,
Um,
so yeah, you rush off to the stable, and I can imagine that once Katterina sees the direwolf and how it's acting, and then looks at you, it's almost like, you better deal with this.
Yeah, you better deal with it.
So yeah, luckily, I wasn't gonna have just out of character, I wasn't gonna have straight off critical fail. He eats a horse and possibly you end up in jail.
I ain't free bed for the night.
What it goes for Nessa.
I'm not gonna eat
Oh no.
anyone or anything. He's
Clash of the
gonna-
Tiger.
You better
So-
be eating the pretty bad guys.
Right, but yeah, you're able to eventually, reach Tanaway and are able to satisfy his hunger.
Okay.
But yeah, that particular wolf needs a little bit of training.
Okay.
I just realized anyone in the domicile walking past the stables and can see Katterina with these two animals, they're gonna think they walked into Princess Mononoke or something.
So the owl bear itself is rare, and it's also massive.
Mhm.
And then you got the giant wolf
Yep.
that was eyeing the rest of the animals in the stable.
Yep.
Jeez.
And the last thing you hear before you leave the stables is very out of tune practicing.
I'm sure the wolf loves it.
Actually,
And
you can't see this, but what ends up happening behind you is the wolf is slightly annoyed and goes to bat you around the head, but Nessa stops him.
No.
I like Tanaway.
Great. Now I immediately think of fish or friends, not food.
So his name is Bruce Tanaway?
Yeah, that's
Song, actually.
actually Tanaway, yeah.
Isn't that the guy who's the Incredible Hulk?
Bruce Banner.
No, that's what is it?
Bruce
Bruce
Banner.
Banner.
That's it.
Sorry, I derailed the whole thing. So
Katterina's got a conscience.
Don't worry
snuggling-
about it.
still snuggling for out of tune loot.
Okay, so to not rush everybody, but to proceed, we'll say it is now the morning after. Again, you've all got a decent... what, unless there's something in particular?
Quick question
Yeah,
regarding the Ocular Singularum.
yeah.
If I was able to finish that in that time, what spell should I be marking down?
Frig. I suppose it, I'm just, because I don't know all the spells off by hand, and yeah, I probably should have done more research. The lowest level scrying you can find.
Okay.
But with the, catch that it can only be used to see into the underworld.
Alright. Can do. Thank you.
No problem. While Slappy is looking that up.
Vendrak's gonna be like, "Argh!"
And
arm is obviously gonna be a little sore.
and once again, everybody's got a decent night's sleep.
Well, hold on, wait. No, Rara didn't do anything yet. She's just reading her book.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, about 10 minutes after everyone else has already departed, she looks up and is like, oh, okay. Closes her book and goes, out of character, did, Heather ever come downstairs?
Yeah.
Like, ever?
Yeah, she did. It's
Did
just
she
Heather
pay for-
normally keeps to herself. She's
Yeah.
not that
Did-
outspoken.
Did
She's
she pay-
been. I was just gonna say she has been sat across from you this whole time because it's almost like she's got her arms crossed, like say, "Come on, I want to get some sleep."
Oh, so Heather's still downstairs?
Yeah.
Oh. Rara notices Heather's like, oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, I just got really engrossed in my book.
Yeah, I can tell.
Here, let's go upstairs. So Rara tucks her book into her satchel, goes to the innkeep, and hands him the funds to stay the night.
Okay.
How much is that? I didn't pay
Silver
attention.
piece.
1 silver?
Yep.
There we go.
Okay.
And then she goes upstairs and just kind of curls up into a little kobold ball upstairs in her bed.
And like as soon as Heather, hits the bed, she's out like a light.
All right.
Okay. Is it just before I continue? Is there anybody else that would like to do anything?
Sorry.
I will take your silence as a no. We're
before
continuing.
You mean before waking up?
Yes.
No, Vendrak was out cold.
Okay. So, he gets the next morning, and again, one by one, you all gather in the foyer.
Yeah.
And obviously, now that the, if you will, shenanigans are out of the way, it does press on all of your minds that you did come here with a purpose in mind. And obviously that is to talk to Commander Tallius of the City Watch.
Right, it wasn't to show them all.
Wait, Tallius, isn't that the direwolf's name?
No, that's Tanaway.
That's Tanaway.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. That was in character.
With Mage, with you, we don't know.
It's hard to
Tallius, Commander Tallius.
Tallius.
Yeah.
So,
She's a woman, isn't it? Commander Tallius.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, isn't Commander Tallius a woman?
yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
The commander of the City Watch.
And, say if you, press the bartender for where you would locate the, the station for the City Watch, you would know that he would tell you that it is in the Diadem. nobler part of the district of the city. So what you'd have to do is go out of the domicile and through the Toledo to get to the diadem.
Right, okay. It's like kind of where the nobility live and...
Yes. So,
Go to the diadem.
yeah. So, I'm just going to gather, just because of the silence, that you're basically all going towards that.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean... yeah.
Okay, so, obviously, behind you is a Nessa and a Tanaway as well. It's like, almost at this point, you're sort of gathered in a posse at this point, because there's, 7 of you plus 2 ginormous animals.
Nobody's gonna mess with us then.
We hope.
So you do, yes, as you do travel through the city, you do get a few odd glances.
Katterina has pulled her hood all the way up again.
And making your way out of the domicile into Toledo, you do find the gates to the diadem. And once you pass through, you do see that it's not as crowded as the other 2 districts. It's actually fairly quiet. With what alarms you more is as you've been traveling through the domicile and the Toledo, you notice that there was a few sparse patrols of the City Watch in the domicile. There was a lot more patrols in Toledo, but there seems to be barely any here. But what does alarm you as a group? Instead, there's soldiers.
Oh, like armed and ready to go kind of soldiers.
Well, it's what
Soldiers
alarms...
As in
as in the army.
yeah.
Oh, there is one
Madras-
thing I forgot to
Madras
ask real
troops.
quick, Gothy.
Yeah, go ahead.
The short sword. What's its stats and everything?
It would basically be a normal short sword. It's just modified. So
I think it's 1d6.
Yeah, it's 1d6.
So it would do 1d6 of damage.
Yeah.
Plus
And
strength or dex, I think it's finesse, right?
yeah, it's finesse, so you could add your dex instead of your strength if that is higher.
Which is
It is.
already
my
fantastic to be able to do.
my dexterity is like amazing. It's 16 right now.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
So that's +3.
Plus 3 to
Yeah.
and damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are right.
Okay.
Where would I put that down under? Like,
do you
the
have
fact
like
that
a,
she-
yeah? Do you have like an attack box? Sorry.
Attacks and casting box.
weapons and spells.
Yeah, that'll do
Sure.
All right.
Just put down the name of the weapon, the attack bonus, and the damage and type.
it. Yep.
Attack bonus.
It should be.
+3, because
I mean, are we gonna go with the idea that it's proficient?
yeah, you know what, we will, because it's been modified to so Tsurara can use it. Yes, so you can add your proficiency bonus.
Yeah, that's fucking incredible for a sorcerer.
Yeah.
The damage
Monster to have that. That's some good shit.
All right. So I have weapons and spells. The weapon would be a short sword. Then there's a hit box.
Yeah, that's 2 hits. So, that would be your dexterity is +3.
So I would put a +3 to it, right?
And then what's your
Plus-
proficiency bonus?
Proficiency should be 3 for all of us because we're all the same.
Yeah,
level.
so that your to hit would be +6.
So to hit would be +6.
Yep.
And the damage will be 1d6 plus 3.
No,
Okay,
1d6
and then
plus
it-
6.
Okay, so damage would be
1d6 plus 6.
Plus 6? Why plus 6? You don't add your
Because-
proficiency to damage.
I thought you. Yeah, you do.
Do you?
If you're proficient with the weapon. it gets
three.
added onto the damage as well.
Damage as well.
What?
Ah,
No.
That's where it's...
No,
Now the proficiency is for the attack, not the damage.
it's just a hit,
Sorry.
not damage.
So
It
yeah,
took me about 2 years to figure that out.
So it's just 1d6.
1d6
for
plus
what
3.
plus add to
Plus three.
attack roll.
1d6 plus 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's just plus 3 for
Okay.
damage.
So it's plus 6 to hit, and then the damage is 1d6 plus 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because your dex modifier, yeah.
And
If you're
then
proficient,
the
you might hit better.
all right,
not
and the
stronger.
type. All right, and then the type of the damage will be slashing, right?
As well.
I think so.
Yeah, I think
Should-
so.
Cool. All right.
Okay.
Throw plus 3. Well, it'll be the throw plus something plus
Oops. All right, I think I'm ready to go.
Okay. So, yeah, as you like enter Diadem, you notice that instead of City Watch, it's soldiers that are patrolling.
So familiar adorned soldiers.
Yeah, familiar adorned soldiers, but you would also estimate that this wouldn't necessarily be in your wildest fears the 51st Battalion. This could just be generic, like the other battalions of the city just patrolling.
Yeah, we don't know anything really. We just know they're there.
Yeah.
Does it seem like anything about it seem like a heavy martial presence, or is it?
No,
like
no,
there's-
no, no, it's not. No, it's just that obviously due to the fact that this is the noble quarter, it's much more protected. So instead of using the city watch, they would use the army to protect the nobles instead.
I see. So okay, so was there a difference when we saw some city watch around the other quarters? Is there a difference in their level of armament?
Oh yeah, like most of the city watch is a combination of either like chainmail and levers, whereas like the actual army is more outfitted. Like it's either like you know anything from scale mail upwards.
Okay.
Nobles don't fool around up here.
And
Can I sorry, I think I for some reason missed what exactly we're doing up here in the higher quarter.
Looking for Commander Tallius.
yeah.
Okay,
'cause
sorry. I'm sorry. I keep blanking out on what's going on.
It's all right. But making your way through, you are garnering a bit of attention just due to the fact of also, yes, you do have two huge beasts behind you, and the fact of obviously just how many of you there are. So, the soldiers aren't doing anything, but they are giving you the eye. Like it's like that they are definitely watching what you're doing. But you are, as looking around, you are surrounded by much bigger buildings. These are like proper manor houses. These are, and as you weave through the actually quite wide streets, because obviously in here it's not as compact as say like the domicile or the Toledo. You eventually find your way to the what looks to be the City Watch station, and what shocks you even more is just behind it you can see the tower of what looks to be a cathedral behind it. But yes.
What, like an actual cathedral behind it?
Yes, it's so you can't, because obviously the being right in front of the guard station, you can't see the full cathedral, like probably what would be the main build, but you can see like the what you would consider the bell tower, if you will, like the huge tower going up into the sky.
Okay.
But upon entering the City Watch station, which, despite being in the noble quarter, is a bit shoddy. Like there's bit that like almost broken wooden desk that is acting as a reception, as it were, and you see a dwarf behind it. With a just basic round helmet. Obviously, again, adorned in like a shirt of chainmail with a leather over the top of it. And
So wait, you said it's a dwarf?
yes, a dwarf.
I nudge Vendrak. You think you know him?
Actually, the funny thing is, Vendrak, you're probably the only one, just because of being a dwarf, that's not he. Even though, despite having a beard.
Right. That is true. Some dwarves do not shave regardless of their gender.
Oh my god, that's beautiful.
Do you say anything to Rara regarding that's not a he?
First off, just because I'm a dwarf does not mean I know every single other dwarf that travels these lands. Second of all, that is a she.
Rara just utterly just squeaks up and just turns the brightest shade of red and just like, oh, I'm sorry. And just like kind of squeaks back behind it and just sort of falls behind the pack.
Yeah. So, who would I imagine somebody would be walking up to the dwarf in question?
I imagine maybe I'll be walking up. I don't know if Vendrak is come up with me.
You
But
two are a brilliant dynamic duo. Please do not split up that synergy.
Well, obviously, I will obviously be up there just to make sure things, us dwarven folk do have a certain, code.
When you say that, I can just see Vendrak like cinching up his belt and tucking his shirt in. I better go.
just a little eyebrow lick, just licks his fingers and just push your eyebrows.
Oh, that's what you mean.
No,
Kinda,
his
sorta.
massive prehensile tongue comes out and licks his eyebrow.
I mean, us folk take a little bit of time to warm up to somebody. It doesn't happen that quick, but
See, I'll roll up to the desk, I'll say in Dwarvish, I'll say, greeting friend, I believe we have some business with the City Watch. And I'll switch back to common. Would there be any way we may have an audience with Commander Tallius?
Well, for a start, just because I'm a dwarf, you don't have to speak to me in Dwarven.
Seems polite.
And secondly, unfortunately, Commander Tallius is a little busy right now to just be seeing random people off the street. I mean, for a start, you haven't given me your names.
Well, I am Vulen of Emera. And I'll just
Vendrak, Stoneblood.
Ah, Stoneblood. Stone Axe here.
Oh,
Interesting. Well, now that I know your names, but that doesn't change the matter that Commander Tallius isn't seeing random people, unless you have some urgent information for her.
I believe we may. It is pertinent to the activities of Captain Madrot.
Right. Wait here one moment. And you see that the dwarf leaving the desk goes up a staircase, but a stone staircase behind them. And you hear a knock and a door opening. You can't hear what's being said. It's a bit too muffled. But a moment later, the dwarf comes back down and says, "Please follow me."
I'll look to the rest of the party and gesture to follow.
Do you mind that the and she points at the two animals. Can somebody look after them? Because, they're not going to get in here.
Certainly. I'll look sort of expectantly at both Nyx and Katterina.
I am a tad worried about leaving Tan away with somebody else.
Alright, so
Behaves.
we'll... Okay, so will it be Katterina and Nyx staying behind, or...
Yeah, Katterina's gonna stick around with Nessa and Timothy.
Okay.
Timothy?
Really?
Tan away. Get it right.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, that's actually what I was gonna say. Yeah, that's what I said.
Gotta put these youngsters right, you know.
Hey.
Anyway, so the rest of you... Good lord, I've lost all control. Anyway.
Well, to be honest, you never really had any control, Gothy.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel that vibe now.
The game was rigged from the start.
Rocks fall, everybody dies. No.
Yeah, let's see what building was shoddy.
So the rest of the party, apart from Katterina and Nyx, are led up the staircase to a room that has, again, shoddy-looking desk, but that is filled with papers, just stacks of papers, and a woman with mousy brown hair in again City Watch uniform.
Wait, did you say mousy brown hair?
Yeah.
What the hell does
Yeah.
that mean?
It's like a light
Well,
nut
it's like if
brown.
your hair was made out of mice, except they were brown.
Yeah. It's like, yeah.
That's what. Squeak, squeak, motherfucker.
Yeah, it's like a pale nut brown.
You're stupid.
No, is that a nice thing, is it? You say mousy brown. It must
Yeah,
be.
mousy brown, it is.
I mean,
Never
I
heard of-
know what brown mice look like, so I can picture the hair color.
I've never heard of a mousy brown, like a mousy brown hair before. Never.
Honestly,
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
It
pretty.
must be
Wow.
interesting.
All right. Calm it. Calm it. Bloody hell.
Let the guard have whatever hair she wants. People.
Right.
So Albert Brown.
dark brown.
It actually is mousy brown hair. That's actually a thing.
I have to look this up. I have to see what mousy brown hair is.
So
Okay.
light brown.
Brown.
A fair light brown.
Actually, it's
At this rate, I'm just gonna change your bloody hair color to black.
The hair is shaved.
okay. I guess I can see what mousy brown hair looks like. All right, let's
you
go.
Shavers
Right.
fall, everyone's bald.
How long is her hair? Is it enough to?
Just make her bald.
Right.
That's
I give up!
Come on.
I give the fuck up!
So anyway,
Jesus Christ. Right.
so the
So-
mouse goes behind the desk.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. Good night.
God, it's just done with the night.
Um,
Oh, come on, it's been good up to this point.
anyway, so yes, you see a woman with mousy brown hair. Her hair would be of long length, but she has it tied up in a bun. In again regular City Watch uniform, chain shirt, leather over the top. But she's looks to be absolutely drained because it seems to be all of these what appear to be probably forms and different letters she's having to fill in. And obviously you're all led into the room and the door closes behind you with the dwarf going back down.
Are we all there, bar Katterina?
No, you're outside with
I'm okay. I'm sorry. I thought okay, so I'm downstairs as well.
yeah, I thought yeah. Okay.
Keep
It's all
it
good.
going.
Hanging out with your pupper.
Don't want him attacking anybody.
And before you're able to say anything, and the woman without looking at it's like, okay, out with it. I haven't got all bloody day.
Oh, yes, I see you are quite burdened with the task of watching this city. Speaking of which, I do know that there are other elements, other figures who like to consider themselves taking claim to this city. That one Captain Madrot. We have had recent dealings with him. I've heard that this may be of some interest to you.
Oh
I
yes.
feel we may have some common interest in this.
Oh yes. I've been
matter.
trying to get Captain Madrot behind bars for his many law breakings for what appears to be 5 years now. And every
Oh.
time he's bailed out by the king. So yes, I have some hate towards Captain Madrot. But what in particular news do you have that I don't already know about?
Have you heard of Tachidcolis then?
Yes, I have heard of the place. Why?
Or rather, less heard of the place, but rather heard of its recent state.
Unfortunately, my eyes don't go beyond these walls. As you can see, normally they don't go beyond these stacks of paper.
Well, Tachidcolis had recently come under a rather dire situation due to a coven of hags. That itself was dealt with. But to make matters worse, in what appears to be true form for a man like this, Captain Madrot, apparently in search of one Robert Montgomery, has decided to just burn the town to cinders.
You know
in his
what?
wake.
You know what? Being him, that doesn't actually surprise me. And yes, I do know about the 51st Battalion being sent out to find a prince.
Well, perhaps on the lighter side of things, the 51st Battalion is about half staffed at this point.
It'll be
Due to
restocked.
Another another pressing matter, but that matter of which we feel rather unequipped to deal with right now. The long story short, the arousal of an ancient evil that may plague the land in the near future. But
Sorry.
more currently within our wheelhouse. Yes, the 51st Battalion has been bisected by this creature that awoke. I don't know how long it will take for Madrot to restaff, to rehire, but he may be hindered somewhat by a shortage, maybe not a shortage, but having less men at his disposal.
You know what? To give the credit where it's due to the bugger, actually not. Obviously, I don't think you've ever seen him in combat, have you?
Oh, it's not a matter of combat. You know, there's simply things that numbers are good for. Occupation. I mean, far be it from me to lecture the captain of the guard on this, but it's just the using of the manpower to cover ground and etc. He is but one man, as powerful as he may be.
Indeed.
Maybe this is a hindrance to his ability to keep an eye on things.
Maybe. The biggest problem is obviously, as you may not know, the king is slowly dying. And, obviously, I am surrounded by these stacks of papers because the nobles around here have gone haywire. In particular, one Captain Madrot and one Lady Marie.
Okay.
Who...
I have certainly heard rumors about Lady Marie in her dealings in the Hive.
Oh yes,
Certainly
her and her
exploiting
bloody Borcelts. Although, from what I hear, the patricians got that well in hand. But then again, I can't get into the bloody hive because of him.
I imagine that's quite a strained relationship.
Relationship? Really? I want to bat the bugger over the side of the head! Nevertheless, the problem is Commander Madrot can barely be touched. At least, face on. And the biggest problem is obviously, yes, he does have the king's favour. As I mentioned previously, I've been trying to get him in for 5 years on several accounts of public execution that was not warranted. Many murders with witnesses in the city walls. And every single time, he has been bailed out by the king himself.
Okay.
Not to mention as well, we've had constant accounts of Lady Marie's bloody Borcelts rummaging through the streets and going to her manor. So yes, I am stacked with concerns when it comes to the throne at the moment, because if I'm quite honest, I want to see neither of them on the throne. If anything, I'd like to see the prince on the throne, but he's gone bloody missing.
Lady Marie's Borcelts just causing problems in the hive or with Dulldawn as well?
No, they're... Oh, well, actually, you're not here.
Oh no, I'm not. So I didn't say that.
Hey, when it's good, it's good.
So yes, it sounds like the Borcelts are casting quite the web over the entire city.
Yes, and the ironic thing is that Lady Marie doesn't even have to leave her manor in order to do so. She bloody well doesn't even leave her harp, from what I understand. Since that woman turned up, from what I can gather, about 20 years ago, she has been nothing but a thorn in my side, slowly building up her Borcelts without lifting a finger.
Leave it to the bourgeois.
Indeed.
To do very little work on their own.
Which is highly unexpected from most elves I've met to be this vicious.
So Lady Marie is an elf.
Yes, she is. If you want a proper description of her, she is, yes, an elf. I believe of the fairy kind. Silver-haired, about 5'3". Very short. Never leaves her harp or her manor.
Her what? Or her manor?
Harp.
Her harp, huh?
Yes. Apparently she's quite the musician.
Oh.
Could
Musician.
Would I know anything about? Would that? It wouldn't, would it? Would I know anything about maybe musical charms or anything related to fairy elves?
Not off the top of your head, no.
Okay.
A little bit of digging would have to be in order to fully discover that fact.
Okay. So not leaving her harp, I mean, that definitely is, like, suspect to me. But, why? I don't know.
It's strange.
There's a strange thing. I wouldn't be interested in looking that up. So it doesn't leave her harp, you say? I wonder if that has anything...
From accounts, yes.
Ordinary.
Well, it also could just be to do with the fact that she has a ton of money.
Well, I mean, the one thing I never leave without is my Warhammer, and that's because it makes me feel safe. I wonder if the heart makes her feel safe then.
All her many servants and her Boracouts. I have no idea. The only problem... And then she stops. And then you, even without perception checks, you see her mutter, "Get back." Because at the moment, there's one window looking out. And she mouths to all of you currently in the room, "Get back."
Oh, step back 2 giant steps.
I take my shield out and I just kind of cover my face.
And anybody that wishes to sort of like look round the frame of the window, and my bloody thing went off. Oh shit.
I believe I certainly will.
No, it's not that. My fucking OBS disconnected for some reason.
Oh no.
What the fuck? What the
That's
fuck?
not good.
Why did it disconnect?
Is it trying to reconnect?
What uses the stream? Oh, okay.
Just let it continue to go. It should reconnect. Just
I
give
mean,
it a
it's
little
still
bit.
saying I'm live. What's it
Yeah,
saying on the
it is.
channel at the moment?
Yeah, I'll refresh.
Yeah,
Looks like it's still going.
Still seems like it's up.
Still
Okay,
online.
just must have been a flicker then.
Okay.
I'm guessing.
If Lady Marie isn't fair,
I was hearing sound. Now it's suddenly stopped. Let me refresh the page.
And now has it stopped?
Yeah, I'll turn the volume up so you can hear.
It seems to not be working right now. Let me go check another server or something. See if anyone else is having a problem.
Oh, if it's OBS.
Yeah, it's just the thing popped up saying my OBS disconnected.
Yeah, this is still live on this one.
That's weird. Yeah, the other streams seem okay.
Yeah, it's not the Plex problem.
Still okay.
Yeah, you just click. Can you click to does it say reconnecting?
Where would I see that?
Are you using Studio?
Yeah, I'm using OBS Studio.
It should be
It
down
should-
on the lower left, I believe.
Lower left.
Is the bar now
Attempt-
green or
yeah,
is it red?
attempting to connect. Attempt 1.
Still okay.
Okay.
You can try just doing it manually. Just hit stop stream and-
I'd have to stop streaming and then